This is the Bax and Grant Sports Show presented by Sports Radio America. It is Friday.
Woo! Woo!
I'm Bax.
This is Grant.
Did you forget your name?
I forgot my name for
all
a second.
the weeks. Okay. Every few shows, Grant, I ask you, are you sure you're Grant? The one time I don't ask, you forget who you are.
I didn't forget
You
who
forgot.
I
I
was.
said, this is Bax, and then there was radio silence. You had one job.
I'm sorry.
Literally one job. But it's all good. This is the Bax and Grant Sports Show presented by Sports Radio America. We are broadcasting live. For some of you that are probably wondering why the heck we're not broadcasting actually on Friday morning, we've got some complications with traveling down to Florida with our college, so we're doing a live show right now. It's very late on Thursday night, but it still counts as a Friday show.
So if anything, like, groundbreaking happens on Friday morning and we don't talk about
We'll tweet
this
it out.
is why.
We'll tweet it out or figure out something. But you can still find us Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 12 to 3 Eastern on Sports Radio America on TuneIn. You can download our podcast on iTunes. You can also like our Facebook page at the Bax and Grant Sports Show, and you can follow us on Twitter at BG Sports Show. And if you ever have any thoughts or concerns or questions just in the general area of sports and all things to do with the sports world, you can also shoot us an email at bgsportshow@gmail.com. Always a good time. Always a good time. As always, it is a Friday edition, which means Connor Christensen will stop by today. He's going to talk a little bit of Vikings. Matt Castle on his way to Buffalo. What in the world's going on over there? Adrian Peterson, he's coming back. He's not. He is. He's not. Make up your mind. Flip a coin. I don't care. So he'll be in, and he'll also have his health fitness tip as well. It also is Friday, which means intern Laura is here, which means we have no idea what to expect. Was it Llama Ball? Was that the name of what the thing was on Wednesday with the hips? Everybody dies. That's all I know at the end.
No, we just mentioned llamas. It was nothing to do with llamas.
I thought that's what the short name was Llama Ball.
No.
We'll have to ask her when she comes on. I have no idea.
It wasn't. You're just deranged.
Well, I mean, you get what you pay for at this hour, I guess. But anyway, Grant, right now is obviously time to ask you the Sports Center question of the day.
Oh, obviously.
Brought to you by my desk calendar. Are you ready, sir? It's been a while since I've asked you one, so you've had plenty of time to study up on your sports history, your trivia, your knowledge, your this, your that. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. You're like 0 for 75 on these, but it's all good.
Well, because they're like NBA obscure questions.
That's not my fault. Blame
Yes, it is.
ESPN for their random selection of questions.
All right.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Which coach passed Bobby Knight for second on the all-time Division I win list? As soon as I read it, I tuned out, too, because I don't even know the answer.
Coach K.
Yeah, you're so close. No, Jim Boeheim.
Random basketball trivia question.
I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to make my own Sports Center desk calendar brought to you by my desk calendar questions, because this is ridiculous, because I actually want to have you have an opportunity to answer the question, for goodness sake. Anyway, something that you are capable of talking about is the Green Bay Packers and NFL as a whole. Free agency, it's a big hot topic right now. There's a few different happenings. There's a few rumors going on. One of them is Peyton Manning. He's re-signed with the Broncos. He passed all of his physicals. He went down to New Orleans, got a really good, timely, I think it was like 2 days worth of physicals. Actually, it was like 2 weeks. He worked out with one of the top trainers in the NFL and fully got cleared. Now, his new contract he signed is good for 2 years. It's $4 million less than the $19 million that he was making, which is still fine. The fact that he's making $15 million, aw, poor him. It's $15 million more than I'm going to make next year. Anyway, I'm fine. I'm over it. Anyway, but now you have to think about it. If you're the Broncos, all right, you got 2 years left, potentially. If they somehow win the Super Bowl this year, I would bet the house that Manning retires. You have to. You win the Super Bowl, be John Elway, go out on top, call it a career. You'll be remembered more so for winning that Super Bowl than you will be for potentially failing to get even through the divisional round of the playoffs like they did this year against, I think it was Baltimore they lost out early.
Yeah.
No, it was Indy.
Was it Indy?
It was Indy. Yeah, they lost to Indy.
Yeah.
Andrew Luck went to Denver and had a field day with them, and it was not pretty at all.
They inflated the balls.
Ah, that's what it was. See, that's how you... Okay, now we know. Now we know. That's the best way to win. But... Grant, with Peyton Manning coming back, how crucial is it for them to start finding the future of Peyton Manning?
Yeah, it kind of sets into perspective on how quick they need to get going on this, because I would highly doubt that he's going to stick around for those 2 years. But I actually do want to point out something really quick.
Please do.
Is that the fact that he took $4 million shows that he still really wants to play, and for the right reasons, that he wants to help the team win, that he that he wants to do well, and if that means opening up the cap space by $4 million to let in a couple other players that could benefit the team, that shows really good. I think that's great, especially of a player of his caliber, to show how great he is.
Yeah, it's a great testament. Now, obviously, Brock Osweiler, I'm not exactly sure where to go with that one. He's been behind Manning for a few seasons,
right?
But is he the future?
Well, I guess you could have said the same thing with Aaron Rodgers.
Could you though? Because I think there was more hype about Aaron Rodgers coming out of college than there was about Brock Osweiler. Aaron Rodgers, it was a travesty that he fell to the 21st pick he was in the first round. People were flipping tables in San Francisco and all over the world because they're like, why has Aaron Rodgers not been drafted yet? And then there was way more hype, I feel like, following him than for Brock Osweiler. I don't even know where Brock Osweiler played college. I don't even know where he was drafted. There is not the same amount of hype. I get the comparison of what you're trying to say, right. But at the same time, it's two different players.
Well, and I guess you're right, but you can look at that from any angle, saying that look at Tom Brady. Look where he was drafted. Nobody expected him to be.
I think is a better perspective because he was drafted, sixth round, I think, coming out.
Yeah, fifth or sixth.
Out of Michigan, and everyone, they had Drew Bledsoe. That was their guy for New England for a while, and they're like, Tom Brady, okay, sure. He was a scrawny little white guy, pretty much me, from that perspective. And they're like, he's not going to be an NFL quarterback. Right. He's not going to win 4 Super Bowls. He's not going to win 3 NFL Super Bowl MVP awards. Like, it's not possible. Right. We've got Drew Bledsoe. We'll figure something out in the future. And then lo and behold, Tom Brady goes all Tom Brady on the world. And
exactly.
Here we are now with,
So you can't really judge a book by its cover until they get some playing time. But, I mean, you could always go and try to look for somebody a little better.
Yeah, and I think that's what Denver needs to do.
Or at least another backup.
Whether it's drafting them or signing somebody sooner rather than later, Denver really needs to start thinking long-term. That's great that they've got Peyton Manning back now, but now is the time to start developing that next guy.
Especially since now you have a little bit of a cushion now.
Exactly.
To look at a couple different quarterbacks, knowing that you'll have Peyton Manning for 2 years.
Yeah, and that's one thing that you really need to take a quick look at, too, is just kind of fully decide of whether or not that this Broncos team is going to be able to fully compete in the AFC. Obviously, New England is the team to beat in the AFC, but then trying to think about where Denver ranks. Obviously, they were the 2nd seed last year, and there was high hopes for them. Indianapolis, kind of that they're fighting to be that consistent 3rd seed in the AFC. I don't know if Indy's going to be in that same spot or not next year, but even still, it was a good showing from Denver, though, even though they did dwindle towards the end of the season. Peyton Manning was fighting an injury.
Yeah.
But Denver still is a good team overall, though.
Exactly, yeah.
So some of the other interesting things around the league right now, there's rumors now that, speaking of the New England Patriots, their defensive tackle, Vince Wilfork, has been cut. He no longer is part of the organization. Now, there was an interesting stat, though, that his first season with the Patriots, he won a Super Bowl, and his last season with the Patriots, he won a Super Bowl.
That is interesting.
So that's a good way to start. He capped off his career, not necessarily his career because he's not retiring yet, potentially, with 2 Super Bowls. Now, the rumor is that Green Bay should go after him. Whether or not that's really a thing or not, there's push from certain people. I know this is a very credible source, Grant, but Lil Wayne is pushing for Vince Wilfork to go to for him to go to the Packers. Whether or not that actually ends up happening, we have no clear idea of what exactly is going to happen with that. But would a player like Wilfork help the Packers, you think?
I think any player like him would definitely help the Packers because they're looking for another tackle. And I think that he would be a great tackle. The only thing with me would be you're already struggling to keep a couple of your other players, I'm imagining, due to cap space. Because if they haven't signed Randall Cobb already, it has to be a cap space issue. And Wilfork's not going to go for cheap. So I think with the cap space issue, that's what's going to make it impossible. Well, not impossible. It's going to make it difficult for the Packers to sign him, but they could definitely use him.
Yeah, Vince Wilfork, definitely a veteran that could certainly bring in a lot of positive energy to the Packers defensive line that's really struggling in recent years. Now, Grant, one other thing that's really sticking out kind of in the NFC North is Brandon Marshall. It's obvious that he's not happy. It's obvious that there's rumors that he might be going to Baltimore. Now, the latest rumor is that maybe he'll be going to San Francisco. Now, as an NFC North fan, as you and I both are, I'd be very happy to get rid of him out of the NFC North because he's a consistent, dangerous threat that no one wants to deal with.
Right.
Now, does San Francisco seem like a good spot for him, though?
Well, I mean, any place could really use a dynamic receiver. Like, give me one NFL football team that couldn't use a receiver like him.
Kansas City certainly could use a player like him. I'm just throwing out a team, but yeah, you think about dynamic receivers. Obviously, the Packers come to mind. You could make an argument for Julian Edelman. You can make New England. They've got a dynamic receiver. T.Y. Hilton in Indianapolis. He's a very dynamic receiver, but a lot of teams lack that two combination player, like a Cobb Nelson, Roddy White, Julio Jones combo down in Atlanta as well.
And you could also look at teams that have a lot of cap space, like the Jaguars.
And the Eagles as well. $50 million if LaShawn McCoy ends up, that deal finally goes through or not. Could be another possible landing spot.
So if he's looking for money instead of a winning team, which, I mean, the Bears haven't really been a hardcore winning team as of late. I don't think you would mind going for money, but then again, maybe he's sick and tired of it, and he wants to go on a team that can get him places.
Exactly, and I think a team like San Fran or Arizona, another team that came to mind was the Saints. When's the last time you heard of a really, really good wide receiver for the Saints? Joe Horn comes to mind back in the day, back when we were like in middle school. Joe Horn was a big guy. But the Saints haven't had any prolific wide receivers, and it still blows my mind that Drew Brees has the type of career that he's had. Yes, Jimmy Graham has helped pad some of those numbers, but he's had to throw the ball to somebody else besides Jimmy Graham.
Exactly.
But you can't even, I feel like almost worse than the Seahawks, like I can't even name
any of their,
a Saints receiver.
Yeah, the only one I can mention is Graham, and he's a tight end.
Exactly. I'm trying to think of who any of the receivers are right now, and I honestly can't. Jimmy Graham is the only guy that I can think of that they throw the ball to down in New Orleans. Obviously Marcus Colston is one guy that you can talk about, but Marcus Colston, though, hasn't even had that great of a career. Yes, he's like a middle-of-the-road average guy, but he's not a breakout receiver, and even over the last 2 years, his numbers haven't been that productive. So, Drew Brees, I feel you, man. You need a receiver down there. We'll see if maybe somebody can get sent your way via the draft or free agency. But anyway, we're going to take a fast break. Connor Christensen is in studio. We're going to chat about some of the latest news with the Minnesota Vikings, get his thoughts on Matt Castle going over to Buffalo. And he's got his fitness tip for us as well. So we're looking forward to it. And you got your rant as well. I know you're excited about that one.
I am.
All right, this is the Bax and Grant Sports Show presented by Sports Radio America. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Bax and Grant Sports Show presented by Sports Radio America. I'm Bax.
This is Grant.
Hey, you remembered this time. Well
done.
Done. Well done. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Grant, when you hear this music, that means one thing.
The coolest person in the world is coming on the show.
The coolest person in the world, Connor Christensen, is here in the studio. Connor, welcome to the show, sir. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. You made it through the week, Connor. You were all fitnessy and healthy and all that, and you do what you do. And now you are here. But before we get to your tip, we want to talk Minnesota Vikings. The big news surrounding the organization is that Matt Castle has officially been traded to the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, that definitely surprised me. I saw that, and because that makes Christian Ponder the next guy.
How do you feel about that?
I just hope that Teddy Bridgewater does not go down.
Exactly, and it's obvious now that the Vikings organization has put all their chips into Teddy Bridgewater, saying, all right, he's our guy, which we kind of all thought, but the guy that would have been the only chance to really rival him for the starter next year is now in Buffalo with Rex Ryan.
The whole point of having Matt Castle was to give someone to teach Teddy Bridgewater. And then when Bridgewater came out and had a better season than Castle did, it was like, well, we don't need that guy anymore.
Who's teaching who now? That's the real question. Maybe Christian Ponder can take some notes from Teddy.
Yeah, seriously. It wouldn't hurt him, that's for sure.
Exactly. So now that Castle's gone, obviously Teddy's your quarterback going into next season. Do you like the way the offensive looks now that you know it's going to be Teddy for sure? Like it was a 95% chance,
I had no doubt in my mind that Teddy was going to take over the offense from Castle. I was like, who? Matt who?
Exactly,
No, not like that, I respected him for coming in and being the starter. I have nothing against Matt Castle. I am Team Bridgewater all the way. Oh, yeah.
Oh, sure. We got to get you a Team Teddy shirt or something.
Oh,
but,
that would be wonderful.
Like a
please.
purple shirt
I
with
need
like
that for
Teddy's
Christmas,
with Teddy.
guys.
Yeah, I can just see like
chip in.
like a purple Vikings purple shirt with Teddy's face on the front,
Oh,
and then like
yes.
white lettering is like
With
Team
a
Teddy.
giant heart on it.
Hashtag Team Teddy or something like that. But Connor, the biggest crush on Teddy Bridgewater,
you didn't
this
say
side
that
of the
on the air, no
Mississippi,
way.
I swear. But now another thing going out with the organization, there's still a lot of back and forth talk about the Vikings of whether or not Adrian Peterson's going to come back. Dallas obviously is getting their pocketbooks ready.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
Arizona that's rumored to want to sign him. Jacksonville, Oakland, the list goes on and on and on. Philadelphia, now that LaShawn McCoy is gone.
Yeah.
Like there's a
Oh,
lot of different options.
That would be weird to me. You
It
go
would
you
be,
go
yeah.
from LaShawn McCoy, who in my opinion is not as good as Adrian Peterson and will never
I-
be as good
I don't
as
think-
Adrian Peterson.
I don't think
you
a
won't
lot
have-
of people would argue against that.
No,
Well,
definitely
yeah, I mean,
not.
A couple of years ago though, people did argue against that.
Well, you can
People,
make-
well, especially LaShawn McCoy. But other than that, other people were saying this guy is the next Adrian Peterson. He is the guy who's taking over Adrian Peterson's spot, and then Adrian Peterson was like, so I'm going to do 2,000 yards this season.
Exactly, and it just didn't end up working out that way.
Yeah.
But with LaShawn McCoy, he's kind of that double threat, and AP is a decent receiver out of the backfield, but he's not a shotgun, spread him wide,
No,
spread offense kind of guy like LaShawn is, and I think that's what made him so
Like,
valuable.
I guess I would counter that with an Adrian Peterson being a double threat as I'm going to run you over versus I'm just going to run by you.
Exactly.
Because you can't touch me.
Exactly, but nowadays with the NFL being such a passing league,
Yeah, that's very true.
You got to have a running back that can catch the ball out of the backfield. It makes sense, and that's just kind of how the game is nowadays, unfortunately. And but looking forward to that, though, Minnesota. Grant and I were having this conversation on Wednesday about how we kind of feel like Minnesota might grab that second spot in the NFC North this year, and might even sneak into the back door to the playoffs. Megan Landvatter was here chatting with us as well about it, and we were saying that Minnesota and Detroit are going to kind of fight it out, and Chicago's they're done. We already just checked out Chicago for the year, but Minnesota, though,
Yeah.
they might.
They're going to turn some heads, I hope. Anyway, as a Vikings fan, you learn not to throw all your chips in one basket because then you get crushed next season. So I'm very hopeful that they will sneak in that second spot. And now that the Lions aren't going to have Ndamukong Suh
Yeah,
anymore.
and potentially Nick
that's-
Fairley as well.
Yeah, so that's going to hurt them.
It will.
Yeah.
It very much will. Now, as a Vikings fan, you've gone through a lot of heartache over the years.
So much.
A lot of heartache. Tell me about one of your most memorable heartaches as a Vikings fan. Why? Because
One of
you.
my- Oh, I got it.
Because as a Vikings fan, everybody's got their.
Oh, I got it.
Okay, what do you got? Tell
My
us.
2009, Brett Favre's first season with the Vikings, he took us all the way to the championship. We faced the Saints. I was working at Burger King at the time, actually, and my manager is a diehard Vikings fan, brought his TV from home, hooked it up in the
geez.
back.
That's dedication right there.
We were like, not talking to customers. No, I'm just kidding. He made me
You can go
talk
in the
to
kitchen and
customer.
find
Yeah.
your food.
He
Yeah.
ma- He made me deal with all the customers while he just sat in the back and watched football. But I
What a
could tell
guy.
how the game was going based on his screams from
Sure.
the back. If they were happy, then we were doing okay. If they were really pissed off, then we weren't doing so well.
Yeah.
So, we were we were watching the game in the back. As I would come back and steal a moment every once in a while.
Of course.
And is that game for me? Just it. Oh man, it hurt. It hurt so much
Yeah.
because
What was the breaking point for you?
the breaking point for me.
I feel like this is like a 2020 interview. Like Connor, 60 Minutes with Connor Christensen. Connor,
Yeah.
what broke you about
Oh,
that game?
what broke me about that game? Well, just the honestly,
I don't even know if he's going to
I-
answer because he's fuming now.
I would say that I was truly broken. Just once the game was over, I was just standing there. I was like, we could have won that game. We could have won that game.
Very much so, yeah. Favre threw his traditional interceptions,
Yeah.
which kind of cost
Yeah.
the game.
It did. I mean, he got us there, and Brett Favre is a great player. I have a lot of respect for. So there's nothing against Brett Favre with that. It's just the team as a whole. We just didn't come out and play the way that we could have. I guess you could say that it was slightly better simply because the Saints went on to win the Super Bowl that year. So I was like, well, I mean, if we had to lose, you might as well have lost to the team that won the Super Bowl.
That's the thought, yeah,
However, I
but
would have liked
that
to have
never
gone
makes-
to win.
That never makes me feel good.
No,
I'm
no,
like, people that
right?
say that, I'm just like, go away.
Well, they lost to the best team. Well, you know what?
I would have beat the best.
You know what
team.
you can do with that comment? Anyway. Grant, not Grant. You know, you're not Grant. Anyway, it's not your time yet.
I'm not Grant.
It's not your time yet,
You're not
Grant.
Grant.
It's not you.
Get out of here.
It's not about you.
I'm sorry.
Connor, your fitness tip for this week.
Yeah,
a minute on the clock. Last week we had
abs. How to get abs.
Abs in the kitchen.
Yep,
Yummy,
abs
yummy.
in the kitchen.
All right, 1 minute on the clock. Ready, go.
Going off of last week's theme of the kitchen, I'm going to talk about nutrition today. Nutrition is probably, I would say, 60-40 more important than actual exercise, because if you do not eat healthy, you will not get any sort of result whatsoever. So you need to eat healthy. Now I'm going to tell you how to do that.
Please do.
So what you should be looking for in your daily food values are, you want, this is a little technical, but you want 60% carbs, 20 to 25% fats, and you want, 15 to 20% protein. I can do basic math. That's really kind of, they're not necessarily set in stone percentages, but you see all of the fad diets with, like, the Atkins diet, where it's like, no carbs ever. Do not do that. You need carbs. They are fast energy. They are very important. If you're getting fats, get them from oils, not from really, really bad salad dressings, and get your protein from
Time's up.
Lean meat.
So when you say oils,
Lean meat done.
all right. When you say oils, are you talking like fish oils?
I'm talking like fish oils. Generally, that's more like a probiotic type.
Sure.
But when I'm talking about your oils, I'm talking like your vinaigrettes, your olive oils. One thing you always forget about breakfast: have 3 eggs, tablespoon of olive oil on that while you're cooking it. You're getting tons of great fat, and it's a wonderful meal.
See, as one who's Italian, anytime you say olive oil, my heart melts, because that's what runs through my veins is olive oil and red wine, but that's another topic. Anyway, thank you, Connor, for stopping by. Always a pleasure. Grant, any questions for Connor before he leaves? You were kind of quiet during that segment.
I was really
concerned.
I was expecting you to jump in there.
I was enticed by his voice. It was very
Most people are.
I mean, Grant.
No, I was actually talking about the Vikings. I was kind of puking in the corner.
Oh, that makes more sense. But yeah, once again, though, Connor, we always appreciate you stopping by. You can follow Connor on Twitter at ConnorDC126. Connor Christensen, the official trainer of the Bax and Grant Sports Show. He's worked with Grant and I. We got to get intern Laura in the gym, too, unfortunately. She's lacking, unfortunately. That's why it's a radio show. Otherwise, you'd get a better understanding of what we're working with here. But
she's just giving you a look.
I know she is. I can feel
she's probably been in the gym more than you have been back.
Probably.
Called out.
Get back in the gym.
I don't know. I play soccer. That's occasionally.
Weak.
Anyway, you play soccer. Don't even.
Hey, man, I'm in the gym, though.
I suppose. Anyway, it's accountability. Wasn't that? That's when we should have it. Accountability. That's a good one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Connor, once again, thanks for stopping by. Remember, check out Connor on Twitter, ConnorDC126. He'll be on the bus with us tomorrow, bright and early, Grant, as we take off to Florida.
Sunny Florida.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, it's time for Grant's Rant. So, Grant, for your rant today, you've got a very interesting topic. Please share.
It's about Laquan McGowan. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing that right.
Laquan McGowan. Okay. Well, I don't want to. Sorry, 30 seconds. I just was going to let you have free reign there for a minute. I'm so sorry. 30 seconds on the clock. On? Grant's rant. Ready, go.
Laquan McGowan of from Baylor is 6'7", 410 pounds offensive lineman. And Baylor is now practicing him as a tight end. Now, he did catch a touchdown against Michigan State, which was hilarious, to say the least. And if he actually does end up playing tight end, I think that would be the greatest offensive change from J.J. Watt playing wide receiver. I think that'd be the greatest thing of all time. So I'm excited to see that.
Time's up. Isn't there a saying across the NFL, everyone loves a good fat man touchdown? You see,
I've never heard that, but that's true.
Yeah, you see offensive linemen catch a touchdown, and everyone's like, "Oh, fat guy caught a touchdown."
The guy, now I'm forgetting. He was like, "He's bumbling, and it was one announcer, and there was always like if a big guy got a fumble, and he would go down the sidelines.
Is that Chris Berman?
Was it?
Maybe.
I don't remember now. He just recently retired like 5 years ago.
Oh,
within the last 5 years.
Oh, was it John Madden? That doesn't seem
No,
right.
it wasn't John Madden.
Oh, then I'm
no,
honestly
maybe
not
he didn't.
sure.
I don't know, but
I'm honestly
yes.
not sure about that. Maybe
Everybody
Hardcore
loves
Sal
the
or
fat
something.
guy. I love everybody loves the fat guy touchdown.
Oh, yeah. Nothing wrong with the fat guy touchdown. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, intern Laura's in the studio. Hopefully she doesn't chastise me for my previous comments. Anyway, we got some other fun stuff coming up. Grant's got some NHL power rankings, and we're going to preview some of the opening games for Major League Soccer 2015. This is the Bax and Grant Sports Show presented by Sports Radio America. Welcome back to the Bax and Grant Sports Show presented by Sports Radio America. I'm Bax.
And this is Grant.
All right, Grant, some power rankings in the NHL for us.
Rankings.
I feel like we need like
Ready to go.
All right. Anyway, what's going on in the power rankings?
Well, the Nashville Predators are no longer number one. They've actually dropped 5 straight. They just lost tonight. They just lost tonight.
My horn's broken.
Got an air leak in there somewhere.
Anyway, we're done. So the Nashville Predators are no longer in first place. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take away from that.
No, you're good.
I thought
you're
you
good.
Okay.
No, they are now in the number 2 spot from this latest week. So this is about 4 days old now, but you could argue that the New York Rangers have now moved up in that spot. But now you have New York 3, Anaheim Ducks 4, my St. Louis Blues number 5, which
Holding
I think
steady at 5.
They're gonna drop.
They were at 5 last time we checked in on the power rankings.
Yeah, but they lost tonight. They're gonna drop, I think, because the Islanders won tonight. That's who beat them.
Okay.
Or no, not the Islanders. They didn't play the. Never mind. I'm speaking crazy. But the Islanders did win tonight, so that's probably going to be a change. Detroit looking for their 25th straight playoff appearance.
Is that a record? That's got to be a record.
I think they already hold the record.
25 consecutive?
Yeah, but they're looking for their 25th playoff appearance.
Yep.
And they're pretty, I think they're up ahead by 9 or 8 points.
Wow.
So they're pretty solid, holding that playoff spot.
Sure, definitely.
Then Pittsburgh Penguins, Minnesota Wild moving up. They won tonight, so their season is turning around. Dubnyk is a really good spot in net. And then the Tampa Bay Lightning in the 10 spot, they dropped from number 8.
All right, so a very interesting, a lot of that hasn't changed too much since the last time we checked in. Obviously, the big one is Montreal jumping up to number 1 over the Nashville Predators. Like you said, they've dropped how many straight games?
5.
5 straight games. Yeah, you drop that many games consecutively in any sport, and that's going to have an effect on your ranking within your league standings.
Yeah, and especially since that they have only lost up to that point about 20 games. And now that they won around 40, but now that you win, now that you lose 5 games in a row, that's a pretty big deal. So for the Nashville Predators, they got to start figuring something out. They have some off-the-ice issues with one of their players getting charged for assault and his wife getting charged for assault on a
But his
nanny.
wife got charged for assault?
Yeah, they were threatening her is what I was reading. They both were threatening a
How
young
are you
girl
gonna threaten
that
the
was a
nanny?
It was a young girl, so I don't know. She must have done something that they didn't like. I'm not really sure. I didn't want to read too much into it because it was kind of making me feel uncomfortable. It was weird.
Okay. Well, that's a good time to segue, Grant. Anyway,
Thanks.
so thank you so much for chatting about that. We are going to go check out a Milwaukee Admirals game, though.
We are.
March 21st, the semi-pro. Well, yeah. How does that work?
They're the AHL. It's
the AHL.
It's a minor league system.
Okay.
It's a United States minor league system. There's a couple minor league systems around the world that you can draft from, and the AHL is one of them. It's also like actually the Nashville Predators are the owners of the Admirals. That's their minor league team.
Really? That's
Yeah.
good to know. Okay, well, we're going to be catching the game with Connor as well, along with a few other people as well on March 21st, so that's going to be a lot of fun. It's almost like a Bax and Grant Sports Show outing. I don't know why intern Laura didn't get an invite. Must have put it in the
Rude.
wrong mailbox. Anyway,
Who was sending those invites out, Baxter?
talk to HR. I don't know. HR, that was on you guys. I want to blame the intern, but we can't blame the intern for I don't know. Anyway,
We can do it anyway.
it's your fault, intern Laura. It's all your fault.
You're getting another look. You should
I know.
stop doing this.
I
You're
know.
making
She's
her
gonna
mad.
come on the air and she's gonna just drop kick me, and it's gonna be the Laura and Grant show. Anyway,
Kind of get that on video.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, checking out some of the new action in Major League Soccer. Segueing from hockey, Grant gave us his power ranking. It's finally opening weekend in MLS. They collective bargaining agreements and everything have finally gone through. The base salary has been upgraded from $34,000 a year to $60,000 a year. It's nothing that fabulous, but at least it's something. So the talks have kind of opened up. They are officially going to have their 20th season in MLS as a whole.
Did the players get free agency?
Yeah, kinda.
They
It's
already
really,
kind of have it.
it's really weird because you only can become a free agent if you've been in the league, if you're over the age of 28 years old.
That's interesting.
It's really weird.
That's
I don't even fully
interesting.
understand it either. I talked about it on another show I was on today, and it was weird. Even I was having a hard time fully understanding it. But opening day commences when you will be all be hearing this show tonight, technically, for all of you listening, this Friday night, March 6th, as the Chicago Fire traveled to the StubHub Center to take on the defending.
What a great name.
StubHub.
Center.
StubHub!
Sorry, I cut you off, but I'm
No,
like,
you're fine.
The StubHub Center.
The
is such a
StubHub
great
Center,
name.
yep. In Carson, California, the Los Angeles Galaxy begin their defending of their 2014 MLS Cup title.
Who did they beat to get
They
that?
beat the New England Revolution, Grant.
Who's your favorite team?
New England Revolution.
Okay, just wanted to point that out.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that. You just opened a massive wound and poured a whole vat of salt all over it.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Anyway, some of the other big games to keep an eye on definitely will be the New England Revolution as they take on the Seattle Sounders on Sunday, March 8th. The other big game is between the two expansion clubs, Orlando City SC and New York City FC. Orlando City has sold out They have sold out the Orlando Citrus Bowl, so they've got 60,000 plus going to that, which for a soccer game in America is unheard of.
And that's really cool that they scheduled it that the two new teams are playing together in their
It
opener.
is, yeah, because
That's
it's really
nice.
going to help them kind of settle the score early in the season. They're both in the Eastern Conference, so they're going to see each other 3 times throughout the course of the season, if not maybe more in the playoffs, but I doubt New York is going to make the playoffs, in complete honesty. The other big game to keep an eye on will be Sporting Kansas City as they take on the New York Red Bulls at 6 o'clock Eastern on Sunday. The Saturday games don't have a whole lot to offer, in complete honesty. Obviously, the Vancouver Whitecaps taking on Toronto FC at BC Place will be an interesting game because Toronto FC now with all of their new stars, Josie Altidore, Michael Bradley was there last season, and then Sebastian Giovinco as well coming over. It'll be interesting to see just kind of how that club molds together and maybe can finally make the playoffs in their first in team history. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. But yeah, it's going to be a good opening weekend. I'm excited. I'll be doing the best I can to follow while we are out and about on Choir Tour, Grant. But it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. So with all of that being said, though, it's time to bring in another one of our favorite exciting people. That hopefully she doesn't hate me by this point in the show, but
hold it back.
you might.
Got this. That look. Hatred. See the fire.
Anyway.
You're in trouble.
It's not.
You are in
We get to
trouble.
bring in intern Laura for our segment called Laura's Thingamabopper. First off, I need to start off the segment by apologizing. Hi, Laura. How you doing?
If I was talking to you, I would say I'm doing great, but I'm not talking to you.
Silent treatment.
Silent treatment, even though she just spoke, which is
It counts.
Doesn't count.
She can do what she wants. It's a free country, Grant. It's America.
Grant, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Good
Thank
to
you
hear.
for
That's
asking.
great.
So, anyway, going on with the show without Baxter, because I
Yes.
don't know who this Baxter
He's gone
guy
now.
is.
The world is
Yeah.
a better place over here.
Oh, jeez. You just got called out, Baxter.
You hurt my feelings, Baxter. Go sit in your corner.
He went away he went a little. He's gonna go to the whisper booth and take a nap. So, what interesting things?
Are we
you
done?
have for- Yeah, I
Are we
think-
done?
All right, you're forgiven. You're
Thank
forgiven.
you. You know, it was all out of joking. I would never question.
Yes,
You probably work out more than I do, and Grant, and maybe even more than Connor combined. But anyway, what have you got for us as your thingamabopper for our show today?
I'm actually very, very excited because I found a sport. I'm on this kind of sports thing.
Well, I'd hope so. This
Well-
is the Baxter and Grant Sports
Wait,
Show.
this is You're on a sports thing?
I was
wow,
hoping
wow,
she
wow.
would do like cross stitch or some baking. Like I want,
You know,
Maybe
they have those things. They have like underwater basket weaving. Like that's something.
I was all state senior year.
Great. Good for you.
Thank you.
Really?
Proud
Are
of
you
you.
kidding?
Gosh.
What are you? What are you talking about today, Laura?
I wouldn't put it past you. All right. Today I'm talking about. It's called wife carrying.
What?
It is a sport. There is a world championship. Of
Oh, is
this
that the one where
sport.
they like dive in the mud and stuff?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. I've seen stuff like
I'm
this. It's
intrigued.
cool.
As one that's getting
Yes.
married soon, I'm intrigued.
It's something.
I'll finally be eligible to play. Tell me.
It's a real thing. It's a man and his wife. It doesn't have to be. It does not have to be his wife. It can be his neighbor's wife or someone else's wife. But it's a woman who's at least 17 years old, and he just puts her over
Are
his
they
shoulders.
betrothed? Do they
They
have
don't
to?
have to be betrothed.
Well, it's wife
It's
carrying.
It's
Right.
just the name of the game.
Okay.
Anyways,
Fair enough.
there's like an obstacle course that they have to run through, probably mud, like you heard. There's one
So
water
this
one
is like the Spartan race or like the Tough Mudder.
Pretty
Like
much.
the color
with
run.
women.
with a woman over your shoulders.
There's a market for that, Grant.
I guess
It's
there is.
amazing. It is really cool. And I'm very excited about it. But basically, it's actually very popular in Wisconsin. That's what I find
Really?
very intriguing, and I've never heard of it. Like, less than an hour and a half from where we're from, Grant. You and I, like, it's a thing.
I'm not surprised,
Is
really,
there-
because a lot of places from an hour and a half where we are, it's way in the boonies.
It's
so
weird.
That's it gets interesting.
gets
so I'm
interesting.
not surprised.
You have to ask the question: if it's a popular sport in Wisconsin, is there alcohol involved?
Actually, oh yeah, you go. This
yes,
is your story.
actually. Well, it actually began across seas, obviously, in Finland. And the men actually were awarded their wife's weight in beer.
Yep.
a thing.
I remember this story was on Sports Center like a year ago, and I remember hearing that, and I'm like, this sounds like totally like a guy thing to happen. Connor and Baxter are freaking out, by the way.
More so Connor than myself, obviously. I would
You were jumping up and down.
because I was reacting to what Connor was doing across the studio. Anyway, wow, that's very interesting, though. The fact that it's a very Wisconsin thing to do. It makes sense. It definitely makes sense. I feel like we should start a motion that we should play. What is it called?
Wife carrying?
Wife carry. Really? That's
I'll
what it-
take you on.
We should
Very
play.
original.
I
We
will
should play
carry
wife
my wife
carrying while we were down in
better than
Florida. Wife carrying across Naples Beach.
Well, it doesn't count for you.
it says
technically.
it can be. She said it can be your wife or not.
I guess.
I called dibs on intern
guess.
Laura.
Wait, what? We're not really up to that status of friendship yet. I mean, you
Well,
went
like-
down a few
yeah,
levels.
like honestly, I think you ruined that tonight, my friend.
Give me a few days. We'll work on it.
All right.
Anyway.
I guess it does
You have
take
to
us a
bring
couple
me-
days to get down there.
If not post May, Grant, you and I will race with our wives flung over our backs. These
Running down
pictures
the
are very
beaches.
interesting. These guys.
Like- in the water with their wives over their shoulders, piggybacking. It's great.
It looks like a weird like wrestling move, like a finishing move, like you want to like jump into a pool with them or something.
Would
like
you
that.
do this with your fiance? Would you?
I feel like it would be a fun time. It would be a very big trust exercise. I feel like, be like, all right, honey, I'm gonna put you on my back backwards, with your face facing the ground, and we're gonna run through obstacles.
That woman is wearing a helmet. It's kind
Rightfully
of
so. I would want her to wear a helmet too, because I'd be afraid, knowing my luck, that I'd trip and bash her head in and be like, well, I'm not married anymore.
Now, does the helmet weight count towards the beer weight? That's my question.
I feel like they probably weigh them pre-helmet.
Just put bricks in the helmet, make it heavier
There you
and
go,
heavier.
there you go.
There is a prize for a woman who weighs the most, like the man who carries her, or the most entertaining couple, or things
Oh
like
gosh, maybe it's like, good for you, buddy. You stuck in there and you did it.
I have words. I have no words. I have no
You
words.
have words or no words?
I don't have words.
Okay.
But
Very excited to go to one of these this summer.
you're
going
gonna
to.
actually attend.
I'm going to.
You better live
It is
tweet
my
if you go
personal
to this.
goal.
Your personal goal is to go watch
Wife carrying.
Wife carrying. I want to call it something different, but
Something.
So many sports that you've talked to us about have been these like, exotic, weird names.
Llama ball.
Was okay. What was it called?
Ooh, llama.
Ooh, llama. See, I got the llama part of it.
You're over here talking about llamas, and I'm on the other side of the studio. Like, what are you doing? What are you talking
Studying
about?
about wife carrying.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. And I'm the crazy one. Anyway, I'm kidding. God, I just
Cruising.
Victorian
I
neck
can't
collars.
say anything
Bruising
nowadays.
for a bruising.
One of these days, we need to try to combine every single thing that you've talked about into one sport,
one.
and just
That
really.
sounds like a wonderful idea.
So I will carry my fiance while I've got a collar on and I've got the Olama ball hip thingy, and then King Henry VIII soccer cleats.
Yes.
No, there's something. I feel like
He had the little-
and I have a pillow in one hand.
There
Yes,
you go.
That's
There
what
you
it
go.
is. I'm like,
Great
I
idea.
feel I doubled up with the
While
with the
you
collar.
beat up other people carrying their wives on the course.
This sounds awesome. I really want to try this now.
And then we can all do human sacrifices afterwards.
Losing couple gets sacrificed.
The winning couple gets
Sacrificed.
So glad I'm
everybody gets sacrificed.
And then they're waiting beer as well.
to the spectators, who then get sacrificed.
Welcome to married life.
They don't
Laura,
tell
you're
you-
not even married.
They don't tell you this in premarital counseling. I'm going to have to talk to my pastor and be like, so, found out something interesting. What are your thoughts on wife carrying and sacrificing llamas along with each other, apparently?
Don't hurt the llamas.
You would rather sacrifice humans
Welcome to the Braxton Grant Sports Show, when we talk about sacrificing llamas.
or not, because Laura gets offended. So we have to. Laura is basically saying, kill the humans, save the llamas. You're a human. Last time I checked.
I have no comment.
I have nowhere to go from here with this show. I feel like at this point it would be a good time to just... Connor is hiding behind a chair on the other side of the studio. That's what you've done to him. He is frightful for his life because you are some mutant llama human thing because you want to kill humans.
I never said that.
You... When we finished our Ulama segment last week, or on Wednesday, Grant, correct me if I'm wrong, we said that llamas... she said that we'd have to potentially sacrifice llamas, and she's like, no, we'd save the llamas. So I'm like, so you'd kill humans, and she didn't give me an answer.
I think that's implying something, Laura.
I'm not implying anything.
Sounds like a bad soap opera. Everyone dies at the end of the movie. Anyway, thank you so much, intern Laura, for stopping by. We love you. You're an amazing person. We're excited that you're going to Florida with us. We're excited to do our show on Wednesday live from Naples, Florida. Just a reminder for everyone that we will not have a show this coming Monday. You will probably hear a rerun of our show, maybe this show, maybe a previous show. It kind of all depends on what Sports Radio America decides. But anyway, it's been a very exciting and fun edition. We've been literally all over the place and back, and then some. We've carried our wives. We've talked about Peyton Manning. We talked about hockey. We talked about soccer. We sacrificed a few llamas. Or not.
Or humans.
Or
according
humans,
to
maybe.
Laura.
I'm really not sure. Am I missing anything?
Did you get the health chip?
Oh, but Connor was here. That's right.
Yeah.
Connor stopped
Forgetting
by,
about Connor.
talked about how to nutrition. Get his
How to nutrition.
Get how to nutrition. How does one neutrize? Nutrizine? I don't know. Anyway, this has been another exciting edition of the Braxton Grant Sports Show. Grant, where can the good people of the world find us again?
Oh, they can find us on Facebook at the Braxton Grant Sports Show. They can find us on Twitter at BG Sports Show, and they can email us at bgsportshow@gmail.com.
All right, and once again, we will not be on the air this coming Monday. We will be on vacation in Florida, but we will be back, and in greater numbers, to quote Star Wars, on Wednesday. So make sure to check out our live show from Naples, Florida. I'm super excited. It's going to be sunny. It's going to be beautiful. It's the radio, so you're not going to be able to see or feel any of that, unfortunately. We will enjoy the sun for you. We will have a great time. Connor's going to be there. Laura's going to be there. Grant and I are going to be there. Danny Hoffenstein and Zach Povenfuse might stop by as well. You never know.
Yeah, we might wrestle a shark, and he might be on the show as well.
It's always a party on the Braxton Grant Sports Show. Thank you so much for tuning in. This has been another edition of the Braxton Grant Sports Show presented by Sports Radio America. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your weekend. God bless. Stay out of trouble. And Grant, what is your saying that you always say?
Go, Pack, go.
Have a great weekend, everyone.